further up here is the Woombye. That's native to Australia, that's a citrus. And further up the front, the jackfruit, native to India. The pods of fruit on there, they can grow up to around 90 centimetres in length. And right up the front here, there it is our world famous sausage sandwich tree. And a little bit further around the corner we've got a bacon and egg sandwich tree too. Hippos, rhinos, elephants, they all love those sausages. But if we eat them, we end up on the loo for the rest of the day. Here's our little pineapple garden. Just going to stop off here for just a few minutes. Don't worry kids, I won't keep you long. Just going to talk to the very strange camera crew at the back there. Get the oval out on this so it works properly. What's happened? There. That's it. Now, it was Christopher Columbus that first discovered the pineapple. Oh, that's what he wanted everyone to think anyway. What happened is, all the way back in 1492, he got in his boat, he went for a drive and he ended up in Brazil. When he was over there, he met up with a group of Brazilians called the Aztec people. They were kind of like the natives and the locals at the time. And they all got along pretty well, had a bit of a party. And when it was time to leave, they gave him a little present of a little pineapple. It wasn't anything like the size of our big pineapples here, it was only about 2 inches big. But Christopher Columbus, he thought this was absolutely brilliant. He took this off back to Spain with him, showed everyone there, and they all thought he was a hero because he'd never seen anything like this before. And from Spain, the pineapple went around Europe, the rest of the world, until it finally ended up in India. And from India, the pineapple thought to itself, I like travelling, where can I go from there? And it swam across here to Australia. Made it here in 1858, and made it here in 1838, and absolutely loves it here, and it's been growing here ever since. We've been growing it commercially now for well over 100 years. And there's a secret to growing a pineapple. And the secret's in this little bit here. This is the hair of the pineapple. And what they do is they come along when they pick the pineapples, they snap the hair off it, and this is the very important bit. To make the pineapple grow properly, you've got to go just like that. Because what happens is, if you plant the hair of the pineapple straight away, it doesn't dry out. And if you do that, you get your bromelia, which is this plant here, and in 5, maybe 7 years' time, you get an itty-bitty little pineapple like the one Christopher Columbus first found, and it just dies and it doesn't taste all that nice. Everyone's a bit upset, really. But if you do that, and if you leave this out in the sun to dry off for 2 to 4 weeks first, it all dries out, and then after that you can plant it, and in 2 years' time you get a nice big juicy pineapple ready to eat, and you're all really excited by then, because you were starving. So you eat it all up and you think, right, I want my second pineapple, because you only get 1 pineapple out of a plant at a time. That second pineapple, that'll take a further 18 months to grow. And each pineapple you get after the first one will be half the size of the one beforehand. So what we do to keep them nice and big and juicy is after just 2 or 3 pineapples, we plough it all back into the land and start afresh. And as you see up there in that pineapple patch, there's about 8,000 pineapples in there. And our poor pineapple farmer, when he's going to plant them, he's got to plant most of these by hand. There's this machine which will plant them for him, but it plants them on the flat. And pineapples need good drainage. They need somewhere all the water runs down like the side of a hill. And this pineapple machine that plants them, it doesn't plant them on the side of the hills, so he has to do it all by hand, the poor bloke. And he gets his little shovel and his little bit of pineapple here, and what he has to do is he has to dig a hole and put one in and move along and dig a hole and put one in and move along and dig a hole. You get the idea. It's really hard work. So I drive a train, it's a lot easier. But after he's done all of this, our pineapple farmer is pretty happy that he's got 2 years to go off and recover and relax and wait for the pineapples to grow nice and big and juicy. And when he comes back, they're all ready. And this is the very important point. At this time, when all these pineapples are ready to be harvested, he has to get his timing absolutely perfect. Because when he picks that pineapple, it's never going to ripen off any more than when it comes off the plant. So we'll test it and he'll look at it and he'll make sure it's the right colour for the right time of year. And finally, when he decides they're all lovely and sweet and juicy, he'll say to his harvesters, come in and pick the pineapples. And they'll all come in, and this conveyor belt here, this will go up and down and in and out of all the aisles, and the harvesters will come along, they'll pick the pineapples, they'll snap the hair off, they'll throw that away for later, they'll put the pineapple into the conveyor belt, that goes into a big box on the back, which then goes off to the shop, or off to the cannery, or off to wherever else. And finally, after all of that time, you get a lovely big juicy pineapple. Now that one looks pretty nice, just like this one here. So you think to yourself, wow, that looks nice, but how do I know if it's fresh? So what you do is you might smell it, you might squeeze it, you might pull a leaf out of it, but that doesn't mean a great deal because some of the leaves come out really easy and some of them don't come out at all. What you got to do is like everything else in life to find out if it's nice or not. You turn it over and look at its bum, because we all love looking at bums, don't we? You know that really, I thought so. And the pineapple's no exception. Sometimes you get some nice big green leaves come off, but sometimes like this one you don't. But that's always a good sign if they're still on there. Well, what you need to do is look at the core of it, look at where it's come off the plant. Like this one, if it's still nice and fresh and like that, then it means it's a nice fresh one. But if it's starting to crack and starting to dry out, give it a scratch and underneath you should see a nice bit of juice coming to the surface. But if it's all dried and all cracked and you give it a scratch and you just see more dried and more cracked down there, then it probably means it's been off the plant for a little bit too long, so you probably want to find another one. So there you are. I hope you're all going to have nice juicy pineapples now, and you can go into Coles or go into Woolies and really wind them up and make sure they know whether they've got juicy ones or not. Okay.